Herschel running on the Republican line. Judy Herschel running on the Democratic line. Sue Rowe running on the Democratic line.
I'm loud enough. Everybody can hear me, right? Yeah. Okay. This has been a long time coming for me. When I started with SCAN. I was one of the founding members for SCAN. I've never been very political, and I don't really believe in politics the way politics are being run. I was very happy that we were able to prevent the hazardous waste incinerator coming to the Gibson exit. And that was, right? That was a bunch of neighbors getting together and saying, we want something better for the community. We live here, some of us have lived here all of our lives, some of us have moved here. But most of us live here for the same reasons. We have a wonderful community, we have great neighbors, and we want to protect what we have. Through the whole process of trying to keeping the incinerator out, I started going to county commissioners meetings, and I started finding out about our local government, what our local government could do, what they weren't doing, and what I'd like to see them do. Once the hazardous waste incinerator, when we found out that it wasn't going to be coming into the community, we talked about getting the Clean Air Ordinance adopted for the entire Susquehanna County, not just to protect the Gibson exit, but to protect New Milford, Lenox, Hartford, Montrose, and the rest of Susquehanna County. When we say Susquehanna County is all of us. It's not just one township. So we have to protect ourselves and we have to come together. We talked about having some people run as county commissioners, and I was really excited about it, but I wasn't sure that, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be me. And then the longer that we talked about it, the more interested I got and the more excited I got. I love this group of people that I'm standing next to, and I support them 100%. Now, whether I get the actual nomination and become county commissioner would be wonderful. But if any combination of the three of us get that position, I'm 100% happy for it. Because I know that we all believe in the same thing. We are not politicians. We don't want to be. We want to do what's in the best interest of the community. And for us to do that, we work for you. We answer to you. You shouldn't have to answer to us. We need to be able to be out in the community, listening to the concerns, and remembering what's in our community, what's the strength of our community. Our farmers, our organic farmers, our small businesses, bringing an industry that is environmentally friendly, that's going to provide jobs for the community, and provide jobs where people can raise their families. When you look around here, you see some of us older people, and you see some of our little ones. I'm going to be a grandmother in a couple of months, and I want my grandchild to be able to be raised in a community that he's very proud of being in. I want him to have an education that will be able to, he can go wherever he wants, get the kind of job he'd like to, and come back and live in the community and be able to raise his family if he chooses to do so. So those are some of the things that we've talked about as candidates, and that's what I support, and I support everybody here because we all have our strengths and we really work very well together. So hopefully you will come out and vote for us. That's about it. You're up next.
My name is Judy Herschel. I am beyond proud to be from Susquehanna County. It's part of my roots. It's in my blood. Thank you. I usually don't need a microphone, but it's part of who I am. It's my heart. My family has lived here for well more than 7 generations. I've been saying 7, but I recently found out it's 9. And probably the more research I do, we'll go back even further. But I come from a long line of nurses and farmers and a historian. My father is a well-known historian in the area, John Burdick. And it's always been instilled in me from the time that I was very young that giving back to your community and your family and your friends was a value that was passed down for generations. And that's why it's been extremely important to me that I raised my 2 little boys here with my husband, Eric. It's that important to us. But I don't want to be one of the last of my family members to raise a family here. I know that we want to make it a viable option for them to be able to raise their own families here and to be successful in Susquehanna County. And we're going to work real hard to make sure that our future generations have that option. I envision a future for Susquehanna County where we all have jobs that not only sustain our families but allow us to plan for the future. I see a vision for Susquehanna County where everybody from any age can continue to enjoy the beautiful landscape that we have. I see a vision for Susquehanna County where we have no potholes. We can dream, right? I see a vision where our struggling healthcare systems and our healthcare facilities are given the support that they need so that mothers can receive maternal care locally and our seniors can receive the care that they need from specialists without having to travel 200 miles away. I see a future for Susquehanna County that includes an education system, a public education system that is supported. I see a future for us because you see, a county commissioner can do a lot. We can bring economic planning back. We can give people hope. We have to continue to work on the opioid crisis and the substance abuse crisis. There's so much that needs to be done, but I believe we deserve it. Our children deserve it, so let's work together, all of us, to ensure that this happens. And thank you, and I ask humbly for your support, for all of us, because we're going to work together to make sure that this does become a reality for us. And thank you very much. My name is Judy Herschel.
All right, I thought we were going from tallest to shortest, but I'm Dana Rockwell, one of the candidates in the Republican Party, and I was asked to speak about environmental issues of concern in our county. And this is something that's near and dear to me. I've had a love with the outdoors for all my life, and travel as a youth, I think, led to a lot of that. My parents going cross country and visiting family out west. And I think that a healthy environment is paramount to a healthy life, healthy community, and a healthy county, so something we can't ignore. And also, I think one thing that's been largely ignored in our county is how our environment can lead to economic development. I recently came across an article that said that in Pennsylvania, this was data from 2016, but $27 billion were generated by the outdoor industry, which included hunting, fishing, camping, and such. And I don't think we're taking advantage of that appropriately in Susquehanna County. After college, I decided to move out west for a while. I had an uncle that lived in Montana. I was drawn to the west after traveling as a child. When I moved back here with my family in 2002, I was able to see the area with new eyes. And I think sometimes a period of absence helps you appreciate what you have, where you grew up. And I think if you spend your whole time here, you might lose that appreciation. And using social media, I found it very rewarding to share with people my exploration of Susquehanna County and our local rivers. And really got some nice feedback from local citizens. And I think it's helped to foster a greater appreciation for what we have here in our backyard. And I'm always happy when I post a photo and somebody asks where that is, and I can tell them it's just a quarter mile from their home. They had no idea. So, in order to protect what we have, I think we have to have an appreciation for what we have first, and the protection will follow. But this summer I was asked by a friend to come and speak over here in Montrose at an Economic Development Committee meeting. And I wasn't sure if I was at the right place because they kind of forgot that I was speaking. And the hour and a half leading up to my talk was all about natural gas development. So, which we're not against at all. I think our group is for any kind of responsible development. But I think we're putting all of our eggs in one basket by only looking at that. Living out west, you can see there's always a boom and bust economy. These towns out west, ghost towns. Now, if we focus solely on one item, we're losing out on other beneficial items. Some other things I was looking at, tourism. dollars throughout the counties. I think Susquehanna ranked 46 out of 60 counties, and it generated about $153 million last year. So I think we could bring those numbers up quite a bit. But instead of just seeing what's underneath our feet deep in the ground as our only natural resource here, I was thinking, what if we look at natural beauty as a natural resource? If we look around us at our endless mountains, our beautiful valleys, our clear rivers and streams, our clear night skies where we can see the Milky Way, our beautiful vistas, our fall colors, those things have value too, and I think they could attract people to our county, bring dollars into our county. And as far as protecting our environment, it also goes hand in hand with protecting our heritage. Our rural heritage is very important to all of us, and also preserving our local history. I think we have an obligation to protect our local heritage and history, and that obligation is to our ancestors who helped build this county and build things that we see around us. So what I'd like to do for this group is just put a strong emphasis on the environment and what it can lead to betterment of this county. And I've read a lot lately of how there's a lot of disconnect with nature. One thing I read recently is that the average school child in this country spends less time outdoors than the average inmate, which I found very shocking. And I'd like to help correct that problem. But you hear about things called nature deficit disorder, and I think that's a real thing. I think people's reconnection with nature can help with a lot of the problems we have. We have a lot of problems in this county of feelings of hopelessness, depression, suicide, drug abuse, and I think reconnecting people with nature can help with all those. So I'm proud to be part of the Bootstrap campaign. I think a nonpartisan coalition is the only wise choice for this county. I think there's really no need for political separation at the county level. And there's probably no one in this room that isn't a bit disillusioned with the upper levels of government. And I think if anything is to change for the better, it's going to start at the bottom and work its way up. So thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today, especially my grandson back there, Porter. And I'm going to just tell you that I'm not a good public speaker. I'm putting that out there so you'll forgive any of my mistakes. But I am very enthusiastic. I am, as you can see by my white hair, one of the older people here, but I feel that I still have much that I can offer. I have been a lifelong lived in this county my whole life, except leaving to go to college. I came back as a single parent, and I have a son who is Porter's daddy, and I fortunately had an education, so I was able to get a job teaching in Susquehanna, where I taught for 33 years, and it was the joy of my life to, besides my family, to teach, and to teach children how to read, and to teach children how to love literature. It was one of my favorite things, and I'm going to pass that on to Porter. I'm retired. I taught 33 years. I may have said that, but I still work part-time in Windsor, New York as a substitute teacher. I enjoy being around children and enjoy associating with other people in the schools. One of the things that I would love to see, I live in Oakland Township, is that I would like to see centers, community centers for children and for seniors, for everyone. Perhaps bringing in 4-H, other programs that kids can get involved with, things that adults, especially seniors who have issues with being alone, can get involved with, and perhaps that will help some of the problems with the opioid problem, which I know is great in this county, but offering more opportunities, I think would be a wonderful thing. My daughter recently completed a program over at Elk Lake, and I'm very, very enthusiastic about the programs that they offer for trades, for people learning trades. I think that would be wonderful to expand that if possible. So that is one of the things that I am very enthusiastic about. And I grew up when people did not argue all the time over politics. People crossed over and found common ground. And that is one of the worst things that I see these days, is no movement in politics, people arguing. It's just atrocious. And I share many of the beliefs of this group. And I really feel that we have a lot to offer and that we can make this county a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Along the lines of heritage, the managers of the Rosemont Inn, which is this beautiful place, would be delighted to take anybody who's here around for a tour of the inn after this is over. They're anxious to do that, and I think you'd learn a lot about Montrose if you did that.